Okay, I'm going to start by saying this printer is a big, big printer. 420 by 420 by 500. It is multicolor. I was watching one run the other night at Micro Center and was really impressed. So, got that last piece of packing foam off of it. I didn't want to connect it until I got in here because it kind of holds the bars from swaying around and stuff. So we're going to start. You probably can't see it. There's 4 screws here on either side. We've got to start by taking out, and then 1 screw right here on either side we have to take out. So we'll get them taken out, and then we'll get the Z-axis stood up and start on from there. Kind of feeling the bed feels a little bumpy. You might investigate, might have a little something in the rails or something. So anyway, we will find our tool packet. You know, there's something I really like seeing, and this is a quality control pass. You don't see that much anymore. I like that. We'll see how good they did. Okay, we got the nice little Allen wrench pack out, and we're going to start by finding the Allen that fits these 4 screws in the back. Really kind of fighting the urge not to get out of the drill and do this. That one's going to go wild on us. Okay, there's the first 4. Trying to find a place to put them. Okay. Yep. Love that sound. Okay, and there's the second four. Then, like I said, there's one back here in the corner. See if we can find it there. Oh, found it. I think that's the wrong size wrench. And it is. There's that one. And there's this one. Alright, there's them four. Or two. Then we find a screw package. Here's the one, number one for the frame. And we're going to have to get them uprights. I'm hoping I've got enough vertical height here. Okay, so we've got that back up there. And here we're going to connect the gantry. You have to turn it around. It's actually backwards. If you can see in here, there's a little aluminum bracket and there's a shelf, and it actually sets pretty much into a groove in the table. And then you got this long screw that goes in first. Strangely enough, not the same long screw you pull out of that same hole. Kind of funny, you know, with all the penny pinchers and this, that, and the other, that they wouldn't reuse that screw. And I'm just going to run them in kind of snug. I've got about 3 or 4 inches, which I'm going to have to put a big leaf on this table to have enough depth to be able to have my bed go all the way back. Kind of knew that from the start. The second one. Third one there. This is where I don't hate spending a lot of my younger life being a mechanic, because I can usually find holes and stuff without seeing them. Now, if my fingers just worked like they did 20 years ago. Had the incident with my motorcycle about 13 years ago, and a Buick that decided to cut across the highway to catch an on-ramp, and it pretty much did my thumbs in. So it makes a lot of things kind of fun and interesting. Oh, felt that one. Now, I kind of read through the instructions on this thing, and I watched another unboxing video, so I know pretty much how to put this thing together. I'm going to try to mount the color management system over here. Okay, that's snug. That's snug. Not tightening them down. There's some big bars that go from here up, so we're going to put them on next. And get over here. Go ahead and connect the Z-axis motor. Same thing for the other side. We're going to wait until we get over there to do that one. Okay. So these bad boys here are for the tension bars. I am going to trim this thing. That's likely to be a whole different video. Oops, rolling. Okay, I need to skim ahead because I can't remember one of these takes a bushing. I can't remember if it's the upper or the lower. It seems like the lower takes a bushing. It is the lower. Big bolt, bushing. No. One thing I seem to hate about most of these printers, they don't seem to give you a great way to measure to trim them. Like this one's got these little blocks, and it's almost going to be impossible to get. You can't really see it. Right here where you can see the end of my thumb, there's a little raised block. So it's going to be hard to make sure this upright is absolutely straight up and down. Like I said, I'll do that later. Whether I use an angle gauge or whatever to make sure it's in trim. The biggest thing is making sure this runs at 90 to the bed, and then making sure that these are run parallel to each other, especially when you get this height. If it's run back or to the left or right a little bit, it's going to print a leaning tower of pizza. I don't care, what you adjust or this, that, or the other. It's going to throw it off. And it's something I do with every one of my machines, and is make sure that they are well trimmed. Okay, so it's got that stepper motor plugged in, and fairly tight. I will go back and retighten everything once I get everything together. As far as this axis, I don't want to sit here and have anything to bind as I'm putting it together. So it's just easier to kind of snug everything and then tighten them once they get together. It's funny. So one of the videos I watched, the eyelets was not parallel to each other, and it's the same way on these two. Thankfully we got wrenches to fix that with. But anyway, I'm going to try to turn it just a little bit more so I can see back here. Surprising enough, for a printer this size, it doesn't weigh a ton. It's weighs in, I want to say, somewhere around 40 pounds, which isn't bad. Boy, I did that twice. Put the spacer on, then the eyelet, then the bolt. Just think how big of a benchy I can print now. Okay. Believe it or not, that does stay straight. Alright. Now let's start it. Must be a booger on that bolt because I started all the way through there and got it fully through the threaded hole. And then it wants to get tight. Okay. Kind of funny, I do not do much with hand tools these days. So, I take that. And about half a degree. So I'll do that. According to that, that's pretty spot on. That looks really good. So seeing how both of them look really good, I'm going to go ahead and tighten everything down. Hope too many people don't come after me for using a magnetic protractor or angle finder. I have a really nice digital one, we won't talk about that. Just in case you're wondering, I am reading the instructions. I've got them on a shelf right below this, kind of keeping myself in line. Okay, connect the Z-axis motor cable. Next we're going to do the print head. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can reach over it. No, that ain't going to happen. So this has a belt that locks the Z's in together. It's kind of a nice feature. My IDEX didn't have it. It wasn't horrible. Matter of fact, a lot of times when I go set this bar, it was kind of nice that it didn't have it, because you could adjust just one Z motor. Everything. I figure I'd go ahead and do this. While I'm right here. And we have our print head. It says attach the print head cable. Lower the Z height down. Huh. Well, they want you to attach the cable and then attach the print head. Okay. Doesn't make sense to me, but I could wrap 16 loaves of bread with that one. Trying not to destroy anything because, you know, just in case I would need to send the printer back. I don't see that happening. I've had really good luck with my printers thus far. Had kind of a bad time with my A1 Mini, which surprised me. I think it surprised everybody, really. But all I can say is it happens. So, got your print head, cable goes right here. This is a C-type connector. And it has screws. That holds it in, which I think that's kind of neat. I knew there was about 75% chance of that happening. Actually, the unboxing video I watched, the guy actually put the print head in place first. And funny enough, just like the guy that did, I watched the video on, I did not find the 110-220 switch. So, I'm not really scared about it, being we live in America, because if it's set on 220 and you hook it up to 110, it's not a really big issue. Whereas the other way around, bad things happen. Alright, there's that. I'm going to find the print head screws. Something else, where the print head screws go in here, there's slots. There's 2 slots, so 2 bolts go here and 2 bolts go just below it. I am going to start them 2 top screws and hang the print head like you would a fixture, and then I'll start the other 2 screws. Once I find the Allen wrench. Alright. Funny enough, on the deal I watched on this, I point out there's a little drawer on the other side of this thing. Don't seem like any of us know what it's for. So there, them 2 started like this. Oh, and now I understand. You can't slide it on there. So the 2 screws go into 2 ports on the side of the head. So you can't just slide it in there. Okay, we're going to move everything over here. We'll turn this dude and maybe you guys can get a better view. And I don't have to reach so far. I think there's a little bracket that goes there. Now I'm pretty sure this one plugs into the side of the machine. Alright. Took a little brief intermission there. So, we got the one top screw started. We're going to go for the other one. This thing is kind of super duper. Oh, I seen where it landed. It's real finicky on the alignment on this head. I'll have to turn the whole printer around to show you here in a minute. And I dropped that one. I'm going to try it one more time. If it don't work, I'll cheat. There we go. If you ever have problems on these like I'm having right now, take you a little big piece of receipt paper or just about anything. Put it over the end of your tool. Put your screw on there, and they ain't going nowhere. I get so used to using magnetic tools as far as screwdrivers and such at work that when I'm using these regular old Allen wrenches, it's a little bit of a chore. Okay, they do allow for adjustment on this nut down here if there's any play in the head. They tell you to try it and see if there's any play, which I don't feel any in that one. I do feel a little, it's like it's catching on something once in a while. Yep. There we go. It's just a little big booger of stuff right there. And that lower rail I got out with my finger. Now she's rolling good. And check it in several spots here. It feels good. A little side roller wheel here that's not even touching the gantry. The other three feel good. Haven't read that part of the manual yet. We'll see if it wants to adjust or not. It doesn't appear to have a cam on it. Sometimes you can just loosen them up and shove them in. So this one almost acts like it's got some kind of a tensioner in there. Kind of reminds me of some of the old ones that had a magnetic deal on the Z-axis to keep them from binding. Anyway, alright. So there's all 4 screws on that tighten. I think I checked all the wheel screws. Okay, there's that and that. I think that's all we got to do on that. Bring my little book out into the light here. Okay, touchscreen installation. Get back around here. I really didn't want my touchscreen to be on this side. Now, Micro Center, they had the multicolored unit on the left. I'm going to try to put mine on the right because I want that left side of the machine as close to the wall as I can get it. The reason being is because right back where the camera is, I've got a belt printer that goes there, and the fan for the controller on it blows to the right. So I would like this machine to be to the left of it. looks like I've got a leaf that I'm going to put underneath this thing. I might even have to screw it down to the tabletop, but I call it a leaf. It's a big heavy piece of particle board that was a side for the desk that this bench is actually made out of. I'm going to try to put it under this thing so I can get far enough forward to where the cable don't bash into the back of the wall when you get deep into the y-axis. Alright, so there's that. It's supposed to have a quick change nozzle. I guess you just kind of push a button or something and it pops right out. The fan duct is held on by magnets. They say to put this in here and do that. It clicks right up in there. And then this little doodad here plugs right into the side of it. Or maybe not. Well, maybe that does go to the control unit. Oh, that one there is for the X-axis. There we go. Let's see how this works out. That might be the bad thing, is I might need the tubes for the other piece to hold that, because there's no way to run it under. We'll see what the instruction book says about that. Okay, there's the X-axis cable. Cable holder installation. Aha. There's actually a holder that goes in there. That's not it. That's the spool holder. Now there's the cable holder. and snap. We will have to, I guess, put this in from the other side. Because it has all the routing for the other tubes in there. Got the I might just do it like I did my Mini. On my Mini, I brought this back over here like so, attached this cable to it, and I'm going to try that. So anyway, because I'd rather have my multi-material unit over here if I can. Well, I just hope I have enough height. Alright. So, next, I'm not going to put the tube in there because I've got to attach the multicolor. Okay, spool holder, skip this step for multicolor. I might be adding another spool to it, but it will be up here or out here somewhere for printing TPU and what have you. Okay, now check print head is firmly installed, and adjust the hexagonal isolation column load underneath the print head until it slides smoothly without wobble. Check that the hotbed is firmly installed. If it is, adjust the isolation column located underneath the hotbed until it slides smoothly without any wobble. Okay, so we're going to pause for a minute. I'm going to try to put that board under here because I need to get this thing slid way out so that the y-axis can move. Okay, and we're back again. So, got this piece of wood down here. It is bolted down. It overhangs my table by about 8 inches. I can just see me taking stuff off of one of the lower printers and whacking myself in the head. But anyway, so the next thing it says to do in the manual is to power it on. So it says nothing about the CFS other than what to do if you're not using it. So I'm going to go ahead and power it on, and seems like it's doing nothing. Maybe it takes it a second. Okay, and it's doing nothing. I know I got power to the power cord. Oh, maybe the power cord was plugged in securely. Alright, so now we're starting up. I don't have any way to move the cameras so you can see the screen. Language, English, global, scanning for Wi-Fi. There's my Wi-Fi. Okay, see if I got my password right. That brought back Nokia phone feelings. Okay, Wi-Fi connected. Okay. Okay. Scan the QR code to install the app. I'll be right back. Okay. So I got the USB stick installed. It's going through its auto tune and stuff. Funny, it says it's wiping the Z nozzle. It's not on the wiper. Oh, now it's on the wiper. Boy, that's kind of abrupt. I guess after this it's going to probe the Z-axis. So I'm just kind of a bit afraid if this thing goes all the way up, there's a fluorescent light just above the top bar. I'm almost a little bit afraid it might possibly smack it. I don't know if this one will go up that high unless I'm, running a model that tall or what. So we'll kind of have to see on that one. Okay, I've got to make me a account for my Maker 1. I did position the bed in several positions and tried to twist it. It does not twist. So all the rollers seem to be nice and tight. Only thing I hate about rollers is you get one little piece of plastic or something in them and then it's just a bad thing. But we'll see how it works out. I know a few people that's got the Anycubics and they really like them. Spoiler alert, this might not represent this machine for very long. I might make it a regular Carson down the road, but we'll see. There's a certain someone in my life that doesn't like to see things that cost a decent amount of money get tore apart, so we'll see what happens. But I can do the same thing with probably a little bit less real estate if I make it into a non-bed slinging machine. As soon as it gets done doing its probing, I'm going to try to hook up the multicolor deal and then hopefully before bedtime fire off a print. I haven't done my studying on the Anycubic. Not sure how to level the bed, although it does look like it has some adjustment screws. I do like to have my beds as level and as flat as physically possible. It's kind of a thing I've got OCDs about, so. I have a few other machines that are either 300 millimeter cubes. One of them is 300 millimeter cube on my bigger ones, and then I've got 3 other ones that are 300 by 300 by 400 millimeter cubes. And then I've got the P1S that is 256 by 256 ish. We won't get into that too much. Okay, and it's going to test the Renaissance now. So earplug alert. Oh, that one don't sound bad at all. Oh, there we go. Yeah, like they talk about having a dual Y-axis motor on this, but it's one Y-axis motor on the back, one in the front, with a big belt in between them. So it's not at all like the other Cobra that's got the dual Y-axis belt that has one on the left and one on the right. Which I kind of knew that going in because, like I said, I spent a little bit of time watching one of these at Micro Center the other day. So the filament swaps aren't fast, but I don't do that much multicolor. To me, it's more of a nice dryer, and I don't have to swap out filament every time I want to change color. Okay, and it looks like we're finished. Okay, I'm going to break out the there's that place to connect the ace. Okay, we're going to connect the ace. Hold on while I go get it. So, got my ace. It's not great, but I'm going to set it over here to the side. Luckily, the cable did reach, and I think I still have enough room for my belt printer. Maybe. We're hoping. Anyway, so I've got the cutter on. You pop this little trap door out, and I guess this is a cutter deal. The little dude goes in like so. Doesn't seem to want to be snapped. There it goes. It's snapped in. That hits there. That hits there. Cut. And it should be able to just shot put filament right out. So we'll put some kind of a collector on it. Anyway, so I've got the ace plugged in. Got my filament tubes. So if I can, without knocking the camera over, I'm going to pull this around just a little bit. Go ahead and shut it here. if I can get this camera up a little bit or something. Better. There's our 4-tube hub there. Boy, them locks are some boogers. Okay, ends look cut nice. Well, these things are definitely long. Maybe not too bad. We got good right almost all the way up. Before we get carried away doing that. Looks as if there's a couple of screws that go on the back of this to hold it in. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this hub on here. I'm going to run that Z-axis way up there and see exactly how much filament tube I need. One thing I love about the P1S, and I don't think this is going to do it, the P1S all but draws all the filament back out of the tube. So you don't have to worry about if you don't print for a few days or whatever, there being filament in the tube, it getting wet and breaking. Be right back. Duty calls. Okay, so we got the AMS or whatever they're calling it. You can barely see it down here with the gold. I loaded it. Is just appearing out of the back of the machine, so we're going to go ahead and extrude it, and then we're going to see if there's a file on here that we can print. Going up. Oh crap. I hit the fire switch. Okay, we're going to try this again. Okay, it's purging or extruding or whichever you want to call it. Right at the camera. Okay, let's go to print. Test model. Okay. It's 8:17, so alright, I hate to do it. We're going for 18 minutes. 62:30. $230 is actually a little bit warm for this filament. We're going for input shaping. Oh. USB stick and camera not connected. So, alright, away we go. Thanks, we're about to do our first benchy. Little poop ejector's making that noise. I'm making a video trying to get a little bit better view. a little beachy. Looks like it's in the middle of a pond. energy with the Anycubic Kobra 3 Max Jumbo. Only have one full filament to AMS, or whatever it's called. I guess ACE. This is a gold PLA overture. Same material I painted this little guy that I forgot to put the seam on the back side of with, but it was going a lot slower when I printed it. Rather surprised as much as that's moving, the little socket buddy's just sitting there along for the ride. I ain't cheat like I did last time. You don't have a magnet in his face. Getting into the overhang now. Surprised how fast it moves for a big printer. I usually don't print this fast. This is the file on the card or on the machine. The last little bit of the roof. Finishing up the chimney. Really quite an impressive speed on that chimney. I have to look and see what the minimum layer time is. Just about there, and there went the socket buddy. Don't really like a lot of the bottom. Legible there. Sort of legible there. Looks like it needed a little pulling or something there. Roof come out good. Chimney come out good. Top rails look good. Steering wheel looks good. Got some Z binding or something there. Maybe I should have left it turned up to 230. I've never tried to print that material that quick. So, I don't know. All in all, not terrible looking benchy. Okay, y'all, I think that's it. Those socket buddies was killed.